What if the man stealing from the palace was the king himself? That night, justice didn't sit on a throne. It walked the streets. There once lived a king who was very wise, just and kind-hearted. He did not rule his kingdom by sitting only on the throne. Instead, he truly wanted to understand the lives of his people. For this reason, he often disguised himself as a common man and walked through the streets at night, observing the condition of his kingdom and listening to people's problems. One night, while roaming the city as usual, the king noticed four men sitting quietly in a dark corner of a street, whispering among themselves. The king suspected that they might be thieves, so he slowly walked closer to them. As soon as the four men saw a stranger approaching, they became silent. They assumed the king was a poor, weak old man and asked him harshly, "Who are you, and why are you here?" The king replied humbly, "I am a poor man. No one calls me, and no one listens to me. I am alone. Please allow me to sit with you." The four men said, "We are thieves, and we do not include ordinary people in our group." The king asked, "Why not? I can steal with you as well." They laughed and replied, "Each one of us has a special skill. What skill do you have?" The king said, "First, tell me about your skills." The first man said, "When dogs bark on our way, I can understand what they are saying." The second man said, "By taking one round of any place, I can tell exactly where gold and treasure are hidden." The third man said, "When I throw a rope, its hook catches perfectly on the first attempt." The fourth man said, "If someone meets me once in disguise and later in their real form, I can recognize that it is the same person." They then said mockingly, "Now tell us, what skill do you have?" The king calmly replied, "My skill is this. If all of you are caught, I can free you simply by nodding my head." The four men looked at each other and smiled. "All right," they said, "we will include you." The king then asked, "Where do you plan to steal?" They replied, "At a farmer's house." The king said, "No, you should steal from the king's palace." Hearing this, they became frightened and said, "We will surely be caught." But the king again assured them of his special ability. Finally, they agreed. As they walked toward the palace, dogs started barking along the way. The king asked the first man, "What are the dogs saying?" The man became worried and replied, "They are saying that the owner of the house being robbed is walking with you." The other three laughed at him and said, "You must be mistaken. Why would the king rob his own palace?" When they reached the palace, the second man walked around it and pointed out the exact place where the treasure was kept. The king was amazed by their skills. The third man threw the rope, and it caught perfectly on the first try. All five entered the palace easily. They took the treasure, came out safely, and divided it into 5 equal shares. Before leaving, the disguised king asked for their names and addresses, and then everyone went home. The next morning, news of the theft spread throughout the palace, creating confusion among the soldiers. However, the king remained calm. Sitting on his throne, he ordered the guards to bring those 4 men to the court. When the thieves were presented before the king, the fourth man immediately said, "This is the same man we met last night." The stolen treasure was recovered, and the 4 men were arrested. But when the king nodded his head, they were released. The king said, "I promised you that if I did not shake my head in refusal, you would be freed. However, I have one condition. Use your skills not to harm my people, but to serve them." The 4 men happily accepted the king's condition and promised to change their ways. We learn this lesson from the story. True power doesn't shout. It reveals itself through quiet, meaningful actions. Every individual holds a unique talent, but what truly matters is how that talent is used. Intelligence without morality can become dangerous, leading to harm instead of progress. Great leaders understand this. They lead with justice and mercy, aiming to reform rather than destroy. And sometimes all it takes is a second chance to completely change a life. When given that chance, the wise choose a better path,